Hi, Amanda here from the Opening Lotus. Not going to be talking about COVID-19 because I know everybody's bombarded with information about it. However, I just couldn't let too much time pass without dropping a word here about dealing with fear and dealing with discomfort. And I've been mulling over in my head for a couple of days now. What can I say that hasn't been said already? And I thought of sharing with you very briefly a book that I came upon last year. It's called, I love the name, really. It was a title that grabbed me. It's called The Places That Scare You, A Guide to Fearlessness in Difficult Times. When I came across this book was made reference in an article I was reading. I thought, wow, I need to read this book. The Places That Scare You, A Guide to Fearlessness in Difficult Times. Yep, I need to read it. So it's written by Pema Chodron. I refer to her as Pema as if she's my good friend. She's an American Buddhist nun, and she was trained by a Tibetan meditation master. Right? I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. She's a prolific writer. She's written other books such as The Wisdom of No Escape. Here it is. Also, Start Where You Are, Taking the Leap, Freeing Ourselves from Old Habits and Fears. Also, When Things Fall Apart, Heart Advice for Difficult Times. So, I've read some of these books, some parts of them when I have time. So there's a quote that I wanted to read from this book, The Places That Scare You, that I feel is very pertinent to the period of time that we are in right now as Trinidadians, and also, worldwide what's happening. To put the quote into perspective, I feel like there are two terms that Pema talks about that you may need to become familiar with. So I'll go through them really quickly. She talks about two terms. One is called Bodhisattva, and the other one is called Bodhicitta. So Bodhisattva, that's Bodhisattva, Bodhisattva means being a warrior of non-aggression, or in other words, a compassionate warrior. And that really struck me when I first came upon that word, because it's so contradictory. We don't think about being a warrior for something compassionate or good. The other term she talks about is bodhicitta, that's Bodhichitta, bodhicitta. And bodhicitta means being completely open-hearted and having an open mind and being able to feel the pain and difficult emotions that we may share in common with other people. Yes, so Bodhisattva is a training to become a compassionate warrior, and Bodhicitta is the practice of being open-hearted and open-minded and always thinking about what do we share in common with others when we go through difficult times. So I want to read for you something that really stood out to me when I first started reading Pema's writing. She says that a warrior accepts that we can never know what will happen to us next. We can try to control the uncontrollable by looking for security and predictability, always hoping to be comfortable and safe. But the truth is that we can never avoid uncertainty. This not knowing is part of the adventure, and it's also what makes us afraid. Bodhicitta training offers no promise of happy endings, but rather this I inside of all of us who wants to find security, who wants something to hold on to, can finally learn to grow. The central question of a warrior's training, Pema says, is not how we avoid uncertainty and fear, but how we learn to relate to discomfort in our lives. So I wanted to share this little piece from Pema Chodron's book, The Places That Scare You, A Guide to Fearlessness in Difficult Times, because I feel it's important in times of uncertainty as we are in now to think about how do we respond when we are in discomfort, and how do we respond when we feel that we are not sure what is going to happen next. And Pema goes on in her book to talk about how there is this great reservoir of truth within all of us, and if we, through different ways such as meditation and so on, if we learn to get to the roots of how we deal with uncertainty in our lives, we can tap into that reservoir and find this limitless possibility of new and positive ways to handle uncertainty. So I just wanted to share that little bit with you. Amanda Akbarali Randial here from the Opening Lotus. We offer counseling, mediation, training, consultancy, and so on. During this little period with the, COVID-19 issue that we're facing, we're trying to do more of our work online. Training has been disbanded for a little time. But we are looking to find ways to support everyone online. Alright, so you can look out for more videos from the Opening Lotus. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook. And, be safe. And you'll hear from me soon again. Bye.